Please don't tip over. Hey guys, I am just starting the live stream on Facebook, so give me a moment to get set up. We are a minute early, and that is intentional. Hi, Rosalind from Maryland. Thank you for tuning in. As you guys are hopping on this live stream, please go ahead and drop your name in the comment section and let me know where you are from. And I am just pulling up the broadcast on the Facebook group. Kiara from Florida, thanks for joining. Why did I say it like that? Florida. So country. My boyfriend gets on me all the time for being so ridiculously country, and I don't realize it until I say certain things. Hey, Naomi from New York. Oh, Fearless Black Queen. Okay, I recognize your username more than I recognize your actual name. um I feel like a grandma right now. Like I can't get it together. I'm trying to get it together. Give me a second, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for being early and on time. If you're not early, you late, right? That's usually how the saying goes. I truly believe that too. Whew. So my room looks a hot mess. I apologize to anyone on Facebook that's watching because you can see the full picture. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me see if I can move this over so I'm not looking too far off. I might have to leave it. So I apologize if I'm like looking side to side. Try to set this up in a way so it's kind of ready for a new challenge. Me too, and I am so excited to chat with you guys today because I have a lot of exciting things to share. So if this is your first time here, leave a comment in the comment section letting me know so we can shout you out because I love to welcome first time users. I think that is awesome if this is your first time here joining. If you are new here, really quickly, my name is Fatima. This is the Soul Beauty Chat, and we are wrapping up our SBC Soul Beauty Chat 30-day faith challenge. And today we're actually just going to do a recap. We're going to talk about the challenge. We're going to talk about what we learned. I'm going to share some final tips with you guys. And then I'm going to share some really exciting updates and news. And I apologize for looking. Actually, no, I don't apologize because I did something really great today. I went to the gym, okay? And I'm about to get rededicated to this fitness life. So I don't apologize for how I look. But just know that that's why I look the way I look. I'm like trying to get out of that habit of being like, oh, I'm sorry for looking so crusty. Like, no, don't be sorry for looking like you just came from the gym if you just came from the gym. So, what are you guys doing tonight? I'd love to know what you are doing when you're watching these videos. But yeah, I just got finished eating some Chipotle. I know, right after I said I just came from the gym. But I just got finished eating some Chipotle. And now I'm just having some tea. Some very special tea in a very special mug. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me get the lighting right so you can see it. But yeah, so I'm just drinking some tea right now because I'm gonna be winding down soon. But yeah, so I want to go ahead and get started with this chat today. I see that some more people are joining on Facebook. Thanks for tuning in. As usual, I'm streaming on Facebook and YouTube, so forgive me for looking side to side. But today is going to be primarily like a recap, some final tips about the challenge, and definitely reflection. I want this to be a conversation, as always. I want to have a dialogue about what we learned, what were some of our challenges. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. As usual, gonna start with the prayer, even though this one is not gonna be so much of like a Bible study. But regardless, I want God to use this live stream however He sees fit. So let's go ahead and get into it. So dear Heavenly Father, we just come before you today, and we just say thank you. Thank you for just blessing us with the ability to wake up. Thank you for blessing us with the ability to join this live stream right now. Thank you for this community. Thank you for keeping us focused and confident in you over these past 30 days. Thank you for getting us through this month of January with your strength and your peace and your patience, God. We just say thank you for all that you're doing. And God, we just ask that you just move in this community tonight. We ask that you just be with us tonight as we're on this call, and that you just guide this conversation however you see fit, God. I ask that you personally use me right now, Lord, and I ask that whomever may not been able to make it to this call, that you just remind them that you love them and that you care for them, and just keep them protected in wherever they're going, God. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen, amen. So if you guys are ready, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hey, Facebook friends, for joining. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and get started. So I actually wanted to start with, a little bit of some tips for you guys today before I get into recapping and reflection. I actually just want to start with some tips about how to practically move forward, right? Because we've been doing this 30-day faith challenge for since the beginning of January, and like someone just commented, like it's had its ups and downs. Like with anything, regardless if it's a challenge or if it's a new journey that you're taking, it fluctuates, right? You have your moments where you're in your groove, you're killing it, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and then you have your moments where you fall short, and you have your moments where you may not necessarily be doing all that so I want to give you some very practical tips. Hi Ashante on Facebook for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. I want to give you guys some very practical tips of just taking this journey with you beyond the 30 days, right? Um, Ashante on Facebook just, I hope I'm saying your name right, Ashanti on Facebook just says, yes, IDK if it's because it isn't a habit, but it felt more like homework. And someone else left a similar comment like that last week, I think, that like the challenge was starting to feel like homework, right? Because it's not a habit. And that was like the whole point of it being a challenge, is because it's challenging for us to kind of stick to this routine and make this habit. So totally understand where you're coming from. And I want to give you guys some very just practical tips that can help you moving forward with this. I can't guarantee that it's not going to feel like homework anymore. It probably still is going to feel like homework until you get to a point where you are really making it a part of your daily routine. I think the biggest shift and the biggest shift in your perception has to come from realizing that yes, this is a challenge, but this has to be a lifestyle change in order for me to stick to it. It's just like if you start a fitness journey, right? You can say, oh, I'm on this challenge to lose 15 pounds, and you go work really hard, and you could have some really great days, and you can have some days where you slack. But once you hit that 15 pounds, you're like, all right, I hit my 15 pounds, and now you lose that motivation, you lose that drive. Maybe you stop eating healthy, maybe you stop going to the gym, maybe you stop putting those restrictions up that you had before, or those boundaries that you had before, because you hit your goal. And I think that's kind of the mentality that a lot of us can have sometimes with the faith challenge too, is that we start to look at it as, I'm just working to hit this goal of this 30-day mark. But what happens after those 30 days? That's what's really important, because after the 30 days, you'll still have access to this community. You'll still be able to, come to the Facebook group and ask your questions and share your thoughts. And you'll still be able to even reach me on like Instagram and stuff. I love answering your questions. But you'll start to realize that you don't have as much accountability. You don't have that like reminder that like, okay, I see everyone else posting about the reading today, so let me go in and read and leave my suggestions or leave my comments too. You don't have that accountability anymore. And I think that it's important for us to get into making this a part of our lifestyle, so that it's almost like having the accountability is like a nice bonus, but it's not what we depend on in order to get it done. So these are just a few tips that I'm going to share with you guys. And I know some of them you're probably, or all of them you're probably like, all right, I feel like I know this already, but I'm reiterating it because it's so vital that we make this a lifestyle, okay? And there's really no other way around it. Like I could come here and try to give you some other tips of try and be super creative and reinvent the wheel, but honestly, when it really comes down to it, making a lifestyle change is simple. It's about making certain decisions and sticking to them. So, the first tip is to make God a priority in your day. And that doesn't have to be 30 minutes, it doesn't have to be an hour, it doesn't have to be 2 hours. You don't have to dedicate to saying, I'm going to go to Bible study every week, although Bible study is very helpful. You don't have to dedicate yourself to say, I'm going to read 5 chapters of the Bible every day. You can set very practical, small, attainable goals. And something that I learned actually when I started going to, I believe it was Hillsong Church for a little while. Um, I started going to Hillsong. It was like before I was really a Christian, honestly. And I went there and I visited, and it was a Bible study. And I remember the preacher. It was the first lady, actually, the preacher's wife. She was like, she talked about this first 15, right? She talked about this first 15, which is basically what she does, how she spends the first 15 minutes of her morning. And she broke it up into 5 minutes of worship, 5 minutes of prayer, 5 minutes of reading. Think about that. That does not take up so much time in your life. That does not take up your entire morning. And I thought that was an awesome way to look at it. However, I am a little different. So like I think for some people that may work, and if it doesn't, that's totally fine. But find what works for you, right? So what works for me is figuring out what feels right in that morning. So instead of having this rigid routine where I'm like, okay, for the first 15 minutes of the morning, I'm going to read for 5 minutes, I'm going to study for 5 minutes, I'm going to pray for 5 minutes. I don't do that to myself because I know how I am. I've gotten to this point where I've learned that if I put up these very strict, rigid boundaries, I tend to feel restricted, and then I'm like, I don't want to do this because it feels overwhelming. Because if you don't do what you say you're going to do, you start to feel like, well, I didn't do this successfully, so I'm just going to let it go. I'm just going to start all over. Or I'm just going to stop doing it. So I want to encourage you to do what works for you. What works for me is in the morning, I like to lay in the bed I set a timer on my phone when my alarm goes off, set a timer for 10 minutes. During that 10 minutes, that is my meditation time. But when I say meditation, I don't necessarily mean meditation in like a Hindu Buddhism type of way. I mean meditation, and I am focusing on God. I am in tune with God. I am listening to God. I'm downloading what God needs me to do for that day. So instead of me reaching for my phone, checking my emails, checking my bank account, checking all of this stuff, instead of doing that, I take that as a moment to just center myself. I take that as a moment to just say, okay, God, this is your day. This is your morning. Thank you for waking me up. How do you want to use me? What do you want me to do in this day? Who do you want me to contact? Who do you want me to talk to? Especially now that I have this business, I feel like I have to even think differently about that because I'm so accustomed to just like waking up and go, 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 go. Like I'm like, I wake up, I try to do all this stuff in my business. I get started with work, and then like, it's just like nonstop go. And it's just like, sometimes we don't give God a chance to like actually direct what he wants us to do. So I would encourage you to try one of those methods, to try either doing like the first 15, or to try doing something where it's just like you set a timer on your phone and you're like, okay, for this 5 minutes, for this 10 minutes, I'm just going to lay here. I'm just going to listen to God. You're not going to write a to-do list in your mind. You're not going to say, when I get up, I'm going to do this, and that. It helps you to become mindful, and it also helps you to become in tune with your body, helps you to become in tune with what God is instructing you to do. Like this morning, right? I was laying in my bed and I was doing my 10-minute meditation. And as I was laying there, I felt this urge to get up and to stretch my body. So I knew that that was something that I needed to do, was to stretch my body this morning. Because oftentimes I don't do that. I just get up, I sit at my desk, I'll make some tea, I'll sit at my desk, I'll check emails, and I'll go take a shower, get dressed, etc., etc. But it's just like, we have to be more in tune with what God is telling us to do. And the only way to do that is to slow down and give him the opportunity to do so. Because God is constantly speaking to us and dropping messages into us. But sometimes we're just so wrapped up and consumed in our own little world and what we're doing that we miss it. So make God time a priority. The same way we make other things in our lives a priority, whether that's going out, going to get your nails done, going to get a pedicure, going to get your eyebrows done, we make those things a priority, right? So if we can make those things a priority, we need to start making God a priority and start small. Start small, because It's not easy to say I'm going to do an hour Bible study every morning. It's not easy. That's not easy to do. But to say I'm going to spend 10 minutes just listening to what God is telling me to do, that's that is more powerful than we give credit sometimes. And especially, this is especially important if you struggle with exactly what we've been talking about this week, which is listening to God and having peace in God and having trust in God. You build that trust by constantly listening and communicating with Him. If you aren't constantly listening to Him, then you aren't going to have that trust built up. If you aren't hearing from Him because you're so busy, and then you aren't listening, you're not going to have any trust in God. You're not going to have any peace in God. So I want to encourage you to do that. And then my other points I've kind of already touched on, which is to make make time for God. That's number one. Number two is to talk to God daily. And number three is to listen to God daily. So all of those three are intertwined. All of those three are intertwined for to God on a daily basis and listening to God on a daily basis. So those are the three very practical tips that I wanted to share with you guys. And I saw a few comments come in, so I'm going to just read some of those. And this is probably going to be a shorter live stream today. So if you guys have any questions, free to start typing them in. If not, I'm going to go ahead and get into updates. And I also have a very special little something at the end of this. So let me read some of the comments that came in. Mercy on Facebook says, I agree with the Shanti. I was feeling so good about it before until I realized that I had to do it every day. Shanti says, yes, Mercy, it's good, but all my prayers start sounding the same. It felt awkward. That's so interesting that it felt awkward if you missed a day. I would like to know why it felt awkward to you. Did it feel awkward because you felt actually, I just want to know. I'm not even going to assume. I just want to know, why did it feel awkward to you, if you don't mind sharing. Um, and then over on Facebook, Kimberly, hi. Thanks for joining us. Kimberly is a new subscriber. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Naomi says 30 days has had up and down moments. Being consistent and diligent on the challenge after 30 days. I'm looking for more to endure, to be persistent and diligent in God's word. I'm doing a morning scripture and watch service. Then at 12, I talk to God and watch service, and sometimes it depends on my day as well. Yeah, I think it definitely does depend on your day, like how your day is structured. But I like to find a time that, like, find an area in your life that is routine. So, like, for me, waking up is like, I wake up in the morning and I usually have a certain steps of things that I do. Like, in the morning, I usually wake up, go to the bathroom, and usually make tea. That's usually like one of the first things I do. Like, wake up, go to the bathroom, make tea. Or I wake up, go to the bathroom, check my phone, then I make tea. Like, it's usually those things usually happen. So what I've started doing is I've started squeezing in that mandatory time with God right before I check my phone. Like, I'll wake up, I'll go to the bathroom, I'll make my tea, and then I'll sit down and have a moment with God. Like I talked about in the last stream, where I said, like, I make it a moment with God. Like, I will, like, get out my favorite journal and, like, get out my favorite pen and, like, get my favorite tea and light my candles and turn on my lights and turn on my music. Like, I make it a moment so that it's like, all right, I'm excited to go and do this, because I know that it's going to be therapeutic for me, and I also know that it's going to it's like a moment that I enjoy. Like, I enjoy having that time. So make it a moment, whatever it is that you enjoy. Maybe it's a cup of coffee. Maybe it's in the shower. The shower is a awesome time to have conversation with God. I know it may sound crazy, but in the shower, I feel like my thoughts are so crystal clear at times. So, like, that is a perfect time to really just let those thoughts out. And I love, like, it's something about, like, the water aspect where like, when I'm in the shower, I feel like any negativity that I'm holding on to, any, like, negative thoughts that I'm holding on to, that is my time to just, like, wash it away. Like, I just let it just flow down the drain, and I'm just like, it's just like this visualization that I do, where I'm just like, this is just flowing down the drain. I'm washing it off of me. It's not a part of me anymore. That anxiety that I felt, that tension that I felt in my body, is no longer a part of me. I'm letting it go. So that is something I like to do. So let's see. Ashanti says it was like double work, and then I felt like in order to move on to the present day, I had to handle the past day. I understand that, where it almost feels like, wow, okay, I have to go back and like try to catch up type of thing. And honestly, I would encourage you guys, if anyone else struggle with that, to just continue to just pick up and start where you are. There were plenty of days where I literally had like either missed it, or I felt like, I had did it but I didn't necessarily share it on Facebook, because like I said, when I first got the idea to do this challenge again, it was more so for myself. Like, I had done one of these in the past, but this particular time it felt like it was something I needed to do for myself. But I wanted to include you guys in it, but I knew that I was not going to be heavily active in sharing, because it was something that I felt like I had to do with God, if that makes sense. So I had days where I didn't necessarily share my reading, or I didn't do my reading, and what I would do is I would just pick up and start on whatever scripture I was on. I didn't like almost like make myself feel bad and think like, okay, I have to go back and catch up now. It's more so just like, start where you are, because honestly, God is going to meet you exactly where you are. God is not like looking down at us like, oh, you missed the second day of the challenge. Like, you're a terrible child of mine. You must start over. Like, he's just excited that we've decided to come back into his presence, regardless of why we missed it, regardless of why we stumbled, regardless of why we didn't spend time with him the day before. When we come back to spending time with him, he's still excited. He's still excited to meet us in that same place. So I would just encourage you to kind of look at it in that sense of like, it doesn't matter if I missed the day before. It's a new day. I'm starting again. So I hope that helps. Millicent, let me just take a sip of my tea before it gets cold. I feel like I have to sneeze. Mm. Millicent says, hope I said your name right. How do I become consistent in my Bible study? Um, I think some of the tips that I shared earlier will help you to become consistent in your Bible study. Just like making it a priority. So, literally, setting an alarm for yourself, setting a timer for yourself, and making it a priority that this is what you're going to do before you do X, Y, and Z. So whatever that first thing is that you normally do in the morning, decide that whatever that is, before I do that, I am going to stick to this. I think consistency literally is just making a choice. Like, a lot of times, even myself, I make consistency this big thing. I'm like, how do I get consistent? How do I do it? How do I stick with it? It's like, you stick with it by telling yourself you're gonna stick with it, and then you stick with it for real. Like, there's no like other solution. And I wish that there was, because I'm the same way. I'm like, how do I get consistent with it? You know what I felt that way about? I felt that way about my newsletter. I don't know if you guys are signed up, but if you are not, you definitely can sign up on my website. But website is currently under construction, so you can't sign up at this moment. But when my website is back active again, if you haven't signed up, you can sign up and you'll get a weekly newsletter from me. And that's something that I'm constantly like, how do I get consistent with this newsletter? How do I stick to writing this newsletter? And it's just like, and even with posting my YouTube videos, I just decided that this year I was going to post on Tuesdays and Sundays. And although on some days I don't post on the day that I said I'm going to post, but I try to stick to my 2 times a week regardless. I'm like, okay, I didn't post on Tuesday, but I'm posting on Wednesday. Like, I'm still going to do it, because practicing it over and over again, doing it over and over again is how you get consistent. Even if you don't do it perfect, that's how you get consistent. I have this quote up on my wall. On Facebook, you guys can see it, but I don't know if you can see it on YouTube. But I have this card up on my wall, and I don't know if I heard this quote somewhere or if I just made it up, not really sure. But I literally wrote, the biggest difference between you and Beyonce is self-discipline. And I know people are probably like, Beyonce, like, I'm tired of hearing about Beyonce. But honestly, it's just like, to me, she's an example of excellence, right? She's an example of excellence in her work ethic. And if I want to get to the level of, not the Beyonce level, but just the level of, have y'all ever heard be the Beyonce of your own life? If I want to get to that level where I'm the Beyonce of my own life, I'm the Fatima of my own life, like I am just the best version of myself, I have to practice self-discipline. This was a challenge of self-discipline. Working out is a challenge of self-discipline. Posting videos on YouTube is a challenge of self-discipline. So even if, with your prayer journaling or just studying the Bible or whatever it is, look for other areas in your life where you can start to become more disciplined. I don't know if you guys follow my leak too on Instagram, but she always says the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And that just resonates with me so much because I had to take a hard look at myself and be like, dang, how do you do most things? Most things, if I'm being honest, I'm a procrastinator. If I'm being honest, I am wait to the last minute. I am um, like a C plus at most things. I feel like I don't give my all at most things. There's some things that I do, but most things I don't. And it was just like hearing that made me realize that like wow, like this is how I am in like all areas of my life. And if I want to be excellent, if I want to evolve to that excellent point, whether it's in my Bible study time, whether it's in my prayer time, whether it's in my relationships, my fitness, whatever, any area of life here, I have to get to that point where I'm doing everything with excellence, not just one thing, but everything in my life. I'm like, okay, how can I be more consistent with this? How can I be more disciplined with this? How can I be more on top of this? Even if it's not perfect, but just trying to get to that level of self discipline that you could look back on and be like, I'm proud of myself for sticking to that, even if I stumbled. Um, Someone says, whenever I read the Bible, I forget easily. I get scared that I won't remember what I read. I think if you struggle with like remembering what you're reading, it helps for me to watch videos. So what I like to do is because I'm a visual learner anyway, like I'm not the best at just like reading something and getting it right away, but if I see it, I can get it right away. So I would suggest that if you are the same way, or if any of you guys are the same way, to check out different YouTube channels. Of course, you guys know that I have tons of videos about studying the Bible, building a relationship with God, etc., etc. But if you actually need like Bible stories, a great place to start, I know this may sound crazy, are like children's books or children's videos about the Bible because they break it down in the most simple term where it's just like you are going to understand it. You are going to remember the story. You're going to remember the characters because they just break it down as if a child was reading it. And even the videos. Some videos, I like the Bible Project on YouTube. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of it, but they basically break down like um, every book in the Bible, almost every book in the Bible, where it's a visual for it. They break down and I love how they give you like a broad picture first. They show you like this is the big picture of what's going on. They give you the context and then they go in and say like chapter by chapter what's happening. So I would suggest doing videos if you have a hard time of reading it and like grasping everything. I did that for like honestly I'd probably say like the first year of me like really being dedicated to my faith, not necessarily being saved, because I was saved for a very long time before I actually started like reading the Bible and being like devoted and dedicated. Um, but yeah, once I really was like, okay, I'm gonna read this thing and I'm gonna figure it out. It was through video. That's how I learned a lot of the stories, a lot of the characters, was through videos. So I would recommend that. Ashante says, I love the Read Scripture app by Bible Project. I don't think I've heard of that one. Oh, actually, I have. I have actually. Yeah, I'll definitely re-download that because I've just been using the Bible app just in general. And they have some of their videos up there actually. I don't know if you guys have the Bible app on your phone, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. But the Bible app actually has a section of videos. I don't know if you guys know that, but you can actually watch videos in the Bible app. And of course, they have devotionals and daily challenges and plans and all of that stuff. So yeah. Oh, she says, or even verses. They have scripture memory games. That's good to know. I didn't know that. So for the person that said they have a hard time remembering, that may be something you want to check out. All right, so now we can go ahead and move into the Q&A portion. While you guys are writing your questions, I want to actually share some updates with you guys, and also a few of you mentioned that you're excited about another challenge, so I want to share a little bit of information about that and just like some other things that are going on. I also have a surprise at the very end. So Number one is that my website is currently being updated. So if you are currently taking the 7 day prayer journaling challenge, or if you are using any of the resources on my website, know that they will be temporarily unavailable just because my website is being updated. I'm making a lot of changes. I'm gonna have a lot of extra things that you guys can do on my website. But one of the main changes that I make, which is why it's taking so long, is switching my domain. So switching it from FatimaFarmer.com to SOULBeautyChat.com. So I'm excited about that because it's really just a shift of my brand. Like my brand itself has evolved from like being about me and really being about this community that we're building. So I'm really excited about that. And like I said, if you're on my newsletter email list, you will definitely be updated once that is launched. But I'm so excited about the relaunch of my brand and my business. So that's update number one. Um, Number two is that another challenge is coming soon. Most likely, the next challenge will be in March because I find that when I'm doing these challenges, I need to give myself space in between. One, to just like rest because although it seems like I'm always on social media, I genuinely don't like being on social media all the time. So giving myself that separation, and also because I have to create the content. Like doing these challenges are not like something that you can just put together overnight. It takes a lot of time, to resources and the promotional stuff. Um, so that's part of it as well. And then, but another challenge is definitely coming, and it'll most likely be in March. Also, wanted to share update number three is that over on my YouTube channel, Soul Beauty Chat, I have been uploading 2 videos so far, um, and I didn't title them yet, but basically I'm on this new journey. I'm on this journey of like self discovery, of reconnecting with what I feel like is my truest self, my most authentic self. And I'm going to be sharing that through video. So I know a lot of you identify with being an introvert. If you're an introvert, give me a team introvert in the comment section. But I know a lot of you guys are introverts as well. And I've decided that I'm basically shedding that label. Like I'm dropping that label. I'm no longer team introvert, even though I was team introvert for a very long time. But I've just decided that that label has just been hindering me. It's just been keeping me closed in this little box, in this little shell. And if you haven't seen the videos I've made about it, you can just head over to my channel and you'll see a bunch of videos about me talking about this same topic. So but yeah, I've just decided to go on this journey of I just decided to go on this journey of exploration and like getting out of my shell and getting out of my comfort zone. And I've been having a really good time doing it so far. Um, I have been going to so many different networking events, meeting so many awesome people, making connections. It's been really exciting so far. So I'm going to be sharing that journey via like vlogs where I'm like out carrying my camera with me and like a mixture. So yeah, you guys will be seeing that. So make sure if you're interested in that you're subscribed to my YouTube channel and turn on your notifications because I'm going to be posting on Tuesdays and Sundays. So that's that. And then update number four is that on my website when it launches, you guys will be seeing a lot of things going on. So one of those things is going to be events. I am planning quite a bit of events for 2018 and I'm so excited because it's something that I've been talking about for such a long time, but it's finally happening. If you are in the New York, New Jersey area, definitely keep an eye out for when I launch my website because you'll have access to all those events. If you're not in the New Jersey or New York area, do not worry. I got you because there's also going to be some online events. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be offering my group coaching program. A lot of you, thank you so much if you took the survey also, but a lot of you who took the survey said that you were interested in group coaching programs because you want to work with me, but you can't necessarily afford to do a one-on-one session. So group coaching program is also coming very soon. And it's going to be affordable and you can join from wherever you are, and it'll basically give the same aspect of having a community. For my people who are on YouTube and you don't have Facebook, you won't have to worry about having a Facebook because everything is going to be on one central website, where you just sign in every day and communicate. Um, and yeah, so there's going to be in-person events, there's going to be products, merchandise, and there's also going to be some group coaching programs. So I'm very excited about that. So now that I've talked about merchandise, I want to share that I'm actually going to be doing a giveaway. A giveaway for all of you ladies that are tuning in right now. It's not going to be open to anyone else. It's only open to the people that participated in the challenge and to the people that are here on this live stream. So, let me talk a little bit about what I'm going to be giving away first. So, as you guys know, I recently um, launch my business officially. I've been working on the Soul Beauty Chat for like almost 2 years now. Before that, it was just FatimaFarmer.com, but now it is Soul Beauty Chat. It's all about community. It's all about you guys, honestly. Without you guys, this community would not exist. So I'm just really grateful for each and every single one of you for showing up, from taking your time to be here. Like, seriously, you guys do not understand how much I appreciate you. And yeah, so I am in the process, like I said, of relaunching my website and updating it, and I'm going to start selling different products and merchandise soon. And one of the things I'm going to be selling is this beautiful, beautiful mug. So it just says Soul Beauty Chat on it. It has my logo on it. I know you guys can see it on Facebook. I'm not sure if you can see it on YouTube, but so I'm going to be giving away this mug to one of you women watching right now. You're going to get it first before it launches. And I also have it in pink as well. So these are going to be available when my website launches. Because you guys know I love tea. I feel like I have tea in like every single video. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. But you know I drink tea in like every single video. So I figured it was only right that, you know, we can have tea time together. We can enjoy our tea together. So, and you can also support my business and my ministry if you see fit. So, but for now, what I'm going to be doing is giving it away to one of you women. Quick disclaimer, because of shipping prices, thank you, Naomi. Because of shipping prices, the giveaway is only open to people in the US. I apologize for anyone that is not in the US. I'm so sorry, but because of shipping, I just cannot afford to send a mug like to China because it's just going to cost so much money. So please bear with me. But once the products are available on my website, there will be international shipping. Even if it's not in the beginning, it will definitely be included at some point. Mercy said team coffee. Hey, you can drink coffee in here too, but I feel you. I'm team tea all day. I love me some tea. So yeah, this is the mug that I'm going to be giving away. And basically all you have to do to join is, do I have green? I don't have green actually, because my colors are like this pink color and the black and white. So I don't have green, unfortunately. But yeah, so in order to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is, number one, you must be a subscriber to my YouTube channel. You must be a subscriber to the Soul Beauty Chat YouTube channel. Number two is you must like the Facebook fan page. So if you don't have Facebook, it's okay. I'll give you a pass. I'll still include you in it. But if you do have Facebook, you must like the Facebook fan page. And number three is, like I said, you must have participated in this challenge. And if you're all here, I'm assuming that you participated. So what I'm going to do at the end of this live stream is I'm going to post on the Facebook page, and I'm going to post on the YouTube community page. You know what, actually I'll do it in the comment section of this video. So in the comment section of this video on YouTube, I'm going to leave a post, and I'm going to say, if you want to join this, if you want to join the giveaway, comment your name here or whatever. And then on Facebook, it's going to say something similar. So you leave your name. I'm going to put your names into random pickers. And whichever name is selected, I'll notify the winner on either Facebook or YouTube, and that is how the winner will be chosen. So let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if you guys have any questions about that. But yeah, I'm excited to give this away. I just got them today. I ordered them a few days ago, and yeah, I'm really excited about this. I also have some other stuff, but I'm not going to show you guys yet. You'll see that once the website drops, once the website launches. um, Someone asked me what kind of tea am I drinking today. I'm drinking, I actually feel it because I'm starting to get like a little tired, but I'm drinking medicinal, traditional medicinals. So it's like herbal tea, and this one is actually just a detox tea. So it's dandelion root, but I added. I've been using an herbal supplement called ashwagandha. It's a root, and it helps with stress and anxiety and just helping with your mood in general. And it also, I've noticed that I started drinking it at night, and it really helps to just like mellow me out before I go to bed because I have a really hard time going to sleep at night. So yeah, this has helped to like kind of mellow me out. So that's what I'm drinking right now, and it's like, I kid you not, I'm legit like starting to feel a little tired. Could also be because I worked out too, but I feel like I like feel it. It's like a switch, like it just happened in my body. Um, how did I create my logo? So I actually did not design my logo. I got my logo made by actually one of my friends, one of my YouTube friends, and I haven't met her yet, but she's like my friend in real life in my mind because we text all the time too. So her name is on YouTube. Her name is Chelsea Maria. Her business is Maria with two A's though. I think the two A's are at the end, and Chelsea with a Y. Um, and her business is called Digital Nunnery, I believe. Um, Digital Nunnery. So yeah, if you guys are interested in getting a logo made, definitely hit her up. She is amazing. As you can see, she helped me. She designed my logo. I told her what I wanted, and she literally just came up with the perfect design, and super professional, great prices. So definitely check her out. And she's an entrepreneur as well. So please, please, please help her out. Support black businesses. So yeah, she designed my logo for me, and I absolutely love it. um, so yeah, that is what I wanted to share with you guys. I need details. I need to try it. To try the tea or to try the getting the logo. Danielle Love says, have you tried just praying scriptures? I have, and that is something that I actually do a lot, especially when I'm feeling like spiritually attacked, when I'm feeling like, wow, this is just a lot to handle, and I don't have the words to articulate what I need to say to God, but I just need God to help me. I have done that before. I actually have a few videos on my channel that are just me saying affirmations and scriptures to help you with certain areas of your life. So I have one about depression, I have one about waiting on God. So it's literally just me reading off a list of scriptures that relate to certain situations. So you can listen to it in your headphones. Um, oh yeah, you know, after this video ends, I'll add the link in so you guys can check it out. But yeah, I have those videos where it's just scriptures. You can just listen to it over and over as much as you need to until you're like, yes, I feel right again. So yeah, do you guys have any other questions for me? Let me know if so. And like I said, afterwards, make sure you look out for the comment that I'm gonna leave on underneath this YouTube video where you can enter the giveaway. I'll say like enter the giveaway here so you'll know. And on Facebook I'll do the same thing. So you guys can enter, and I'm gonna choose the winner. Hopefully I'll give you guys until tomorrow to enter. Until I'll do a full 24 hours. Um yeah, I'll do a full 24 hours, and then I'll announce the winner on, I'll probably announce the winner on like my Instagram, but I'll also post it on Facebook and YouTube too. Yes, let me write these down because I will forget. I'll put a link to the tea. I'll put a link to my friend that did my logo. Uh, I'll do a link to the videos with scriptures. What else do you guys want me to link afterwards, after this video? Because I'll forget. If I don't write this down, I will literally forget. So if there's anything else I'm missing, let me know. I'll also put enter the giveaway. And yeah. Um Mercy says, what are your thoughts on makeup? Because some women say that it is of a Jezebel spirit. That's a good question. So I think I have a video about something like this. Not necessarily about makeup, but the video is about, are Christians allowed to be sexy? So I talk about makeup, clothes, hair, jewelry, etc. I would suggest that you watch that one because it's much longer, it goes into detail, may give you a little more information. I'll link that too. Um, but But overall, how I feel about it is that I personally don't think that there's anything wrong with wearing makeup, um, doing your hair, wearing jewelry, any of that stuff. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I understand why people say that it's of the Jezebel spirit. Like if you read the Bible and you study it, I get why some people feel that way. However, I personally don't feel that way. I personally feel like it is more so about your intentions. And I also would encourage anyone that has that question to read the Bible in full context. Like when you get to that area where it's talking about like braiding your hair and adorning yourself in jewelry, like read it in context so you understand who Jesus was talking to, or whoever the narrator was of that chapter was talking to, and why they were saying that. Yeah, that's just the disclaimer I will put on that. Is to understand fully. Don't just read a scripture and be like, oh my God, I'm not supposed to wear this. I'm not supposed to do my hair like this. It's just like, you know, read it in full context, and you'll really get the bigger picture of what was going on. The same thing about like tattoos, because you guys know I have a huge piece on my arm. I'm actually wanting to get a sleeve. I've always wanted to get a sleeve. I'm pretty sure I'm still gonna get it. I have tattoos like all over my body. And although I got them before I was saved, I feel the same way about tattoos as I do about makeup, jewelry, hair, all that stuff. I feel like it's really about your intentions. And again, it's like reading the Bible in full context. Because we can look at that one verse in Exodus and be like, oh my God, Exodus says do not mark your body. And you're just like, whoa, this is completely against the Bible. But if you read it in context, you realize that it says do not mark your body for the dead. As in, this was something that the pagans were doing to celebrate the dead, right? So just read it in full context. Um, Daniel Love says, I decided to focus this year on modesty. I like looking good. It makes me feel good too. That is awesome to focus on modesty. I have a few videos about that too, actually, about modesty. I feel like that's one of the topics where it always gets like super debatey, and I don't like to cause confusion. I just like to, like, when people ask me my opinion, I'm going to tell you my opinion, but I also encourage everyone to use their discernment to study the Bible on their own. Don't just listen to what people say. Don't just listen to, oh, that's what I've been told, or that's what I heard. And really really do your own study and really spend time talking to God about it. And if you feel, yes, a lot of things are down to conviction. That's exactly what I was about to say. If you feel convicted to change the way you dress, or to stop getting tattoos, or to stop listening to certain music, or to stop doing certain things, once you feel that conviction, that's how you know it's from God, and that's how you know it's time to change something. Don't necessarily just think like, oh, this is what everyone is saying I have to do, so I have to do it. But it's like, it doesn't necessarily say that that's what you have to do in the Bible. It's just like religion. It's like people are pushing religion rather than relationship with God. Because if you have a true, real relationship with God, trust you me, you will feel convicted. You will do certain things and be like, what am I doing? Why do I feel this way? Like, what's going on here? Like, I wear this outfit all the time, but now for some reason I feel like I need to cover up. Or like, I've had this desire to get this piercing all this time, and suddenly I feel like God is just like, why do you want this? Like, pay attention to those convictions more than what people are saying about, you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that, that's of the devil, that's of the Jezebel. It's just like conviction and reading the Bible. That is the way. um, what do you think about praying in tongues? I've never prayed in tongues. I don't really I haven't really like I don't want to say I haven't thought about it, but it's not something that I'm like, oh, I feel like people who pray in tongues are like full of it, or I feel like praying in tongues is like makes you a deeper Christian. I don't really have a strong opinion either way. It's like, it's something that I've experienced in like church and stuff before, and I just, I think it's one of those things where it's like, if that's how some people express, if that's how some people go about it, that works for them, okay. But I've never actually had that happen to me. Um, Shanti says, "Do you have any advice for trying to hear God's voice?" Yes. Um, Trying to hear God's voice, the best way to do so is to ask God to help you hear Him before you start praying or anything. Say, like, God, I'm here, I'm coming to you, and I need help hearing your voice. Another tip for me is prayer journaling. That's why I made the prayer journaling challenge. That's why I have another challenge on my website called the 7-day prayer journaling challenge. To me, prayer, like writing, journaling is one of the easiest ways for me to hear from God personally. So journaling is a great way. Um, and then overall, I would just say, like, just being quiet, just being still. And I know that's hard. Someone just said, I just be sitting there, lol. Like, it feels like you're just sitting there, but I think we have to, like, the challenge is like getting out of our own head, right? Like, stop focusing on like your thoughts, what you're gonna do, what you're gonna wear, what you gotta do later, what you're gonna eat for dinner. Stop thinking about that and literally just say, God, I'm here in this moment. I want to be with you. Speak to me. And just sit there and just let your thoughts come about. Listen to your thoughts, observe your thoughts. Maybe you start thinking about, you know, that email you got to respond to. And then you're like, okay, well, you know, do you want me to go forward with this guy? Or like whatever that big decision is that you have to make, and you're like, dang, like, God, I need your help. Like, help me to understand what you want me to do in this situation. And just sit and just feel that feeling, that gut feeling. It's so hard to explain because it's more of a feeling, but you'll know it when you feel it, when you experience it. And I think it just comes from doing it consistently. It comes from every day allowing yourself that time to just rest in God's presence. So literally just sit there, but instead of thinking about what you're thinking about, just focus on God. Just say, God, I'm so grateful that I'm allowed to just sit before you. I'm so grateful that I'm allowed to just hear from you. I'm optimistic that I'm going to hear from you today. I'm ready to receive whatever it is that you need me to hear today, God. I just ask that you just open my ears, open my heart. Like, pray if you have to. Pray those prayers and rest and just allow that to take over you. And I hope that answers your question. But like I said, it's hard to explain because it's more of a feeling. But for me, I hear from God every single day, honestly. And that doesn't make me any better or any more spiritual than you. No, it's literally just because I make the time to hear from God every single day. And when I don't hear from God, oh, trust me, I'm like, where's my journal? I'm like, I gotta get my journal. I gotta start writing. I'm like, I gotta pray because something's not right. When I don't hear from God the way I'm used to hearing from God, I'm like, I need to hear from you on a daily basis. So we're gonna have to get this together. And yeah, let's get this communication back. So yeah, that is my very long-winded answer. Um, this looks interesting. So Danielle says, well, Naomi says, is anyone fasting? So that's a question to all of you guys. Is anyone fasting right now? I'm currently not fasting, but I do like to fast like one day out of the week. Like, I try to make it a habit to like, and not necessarily from food, but just from, like, I told you, I think I mentioned this before, but like social media. Like, I'll do like a social media fast where I'm just like, this day I'm spending my time focusing on God, the time that I would normally be on social media. Um, Danielle says, "Can you talk about older people that think that because you're young, you must be in sin?" For example, when I go to church, some older women assume that because I'm not doing a lot of church activities, I'm single and fornicating. Um, that's interesting. Question though, what makes you think that they think that you are single and fornicating? Has someone actually said that to you before? What makes you feel like that is what is happening? Um, Levon says, just came off of one. Just came off of a fast. I keep feeling like I have to sneeze. It's so weird. Mm. Shanti says, yes, I know about it, especially as a single mother. See, I've never had that happen to me, so I can't speak from experience on this one, but I'm just curious to know, like, what what do those situations look like? Like, does someone say something to you? Is it the comments they make? really love doing live streams with you guys. I really, really do. I know that was random, but I genuinely do, though. It makes me happy. Maybe it's the heater. I literally feel like I have to sneeze like every 2 seconds. Let me know if you guys have any other questions or comments. We're getting close on 8 o'clock. Oops. So Danielle says, I take communion and older women just sitting next to me basically shaded me after shaded me and made a comment loud enough for me to hear but not speaking directly to me. Said you shouldn't take you should you should take communion only if you're right. Oh, right with God. Hmm. Yeah, that's not fellowship. Yo, my battery dies so fast when I do this. Just charge my phone. But yeah, honestly, that's a tough situation, right? Because it's like you go to church because you want to build your relationship with God, you want to grow in your relationship with Christ. And then sometimes you're faced with these situations where there's like these super spiritual people who are like very judgmental and very like religion, and don't focus on relationship, right? And I talked about this actually in an Instagram post because I'm just so over that mentality. It's so frustrating when you're genuinely trying to build a relationship with God and then you have people judging you for every little thing you're doing as if they weren't once in your shoes or probably still in your shoes. Like, let's be real here. Um, Honestly, in a situation like that where you feel like people are judging you and assuming that you are in sin and because you're single and you're young, honestly, you got to learn to just let them think they're going to think. Because like I said earlier, this, you going to church and you being there and you taking communion, it's not about them. Your relationship with God is not about other people and what they may think of you and what you're doing. It's not about them. It's not about that, and it's not about them. So the best thing you can do in that situation is to continue to focus on God. Even though it's hard, trust me, it's going to be hard to sit next to someone that's snickering about taking communion as if they think you're not worthy to take communion. But just know that, like, your worth doesn't come from the value of these older women in church who are being judgmental. It comes from God. And if you know that you're right with God, that's all that matters. You don't have to prove that to anyone else. You don't have to prove that by, serving and doing all this type of stuff unless you genuinely feel convicted and feel in your spirit that that's something that you're supposed to be doing. But if you don't feel like that's what you're supposed to be doing in the season, you don't feel like you have to do all of this stuff, I want to encourage you to not do a bunch of stuff to feel like you are proving something to other people. Because in the Bible, it literally says that works, like your works are dead, and that God looks at our works of us trying to prove something, of us trying to earn salvation, and especially to earn salvation through other people. It's like that is nothing to him. That's filthy rags to him. So don't even bother with trying to impress people or trying to, convince people that, you know, you're right enough with God. You're right with God, and God knows that you're right with him, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. Um wow. And then he says, and jokingly to her friend who is married, that's taking communion is not for people who fornicating. See, it's just like you gotta, for some people, sometimes you just gotta let God deal with them. You just gotta let God deal with them, you know? Because comments like that, it's like this woman don't know what you're doing. She don't know, she doesn't know. And you can, like I said, you can try and convince her by through your works and through service and showing her that you're this perfect Christian, but that's gonna get exhausting. Trying to follow these rules and be religious, that gets exhausting real quick, and God does not care about that. God cares about your heart, and he cares about your relationship with him. So focus on that, girl. And I know that's tough, but it's also a lesson in patience for you, and having peace regardless of how people feel about you, which is a tough lesson to learn, but I feel like we all got to learn it at some point. So I hope that helps answer your question. um I'm going to take one more question if it comes in. Let me see. Says it makes it hard to go to church. I haven't been to church consistently in a year, and half of it is due to anxiety. Oh my God, you should watch the video that I created about I hate church. I have a video that I created a while ago called I Hate Church, and honestly, I stopped going to church a while ago for the exact same reason. Like this was probably like over 2 years ago, but like there was a point where like I did not go to church for the same reason because of that anxiety, because of that fear of being judged, for feeling like I'm not good enough or I'm not right enough with God, and like other people are further along in their walk, so I'm just not even gonna go. And like I also used to get super emotional. Well, I still get super emotional every Sunday, girl. That's why I got my waterproof mascara. But like I used to get all emotional and I'm like crying. I'm just like I just don't want to be there. It's just too much anxiety. Pastor talking about tell your neighbor, touch your neighbor, hug your neighbor, and I'm just like, no, sis, I don't want to do none of that. I'm just here. And like church has helped me to grow so much in that area when it comes to this whole social anxiety, because it's real. And church has helped to get out of that, to grow out of that. But it came from me being so focused on like, I'm here for God. I'm here to build my relationship with God. I'm here to grow in God. I'm here to surrender to God. Like, can I just tell you something? When you have that moment, when you have that moment of being in public and fully surrendering to God, fully being like, look, I don't care who's around. I don't care who's looking. I don't care what y'all are doing. And you're just like, here's are just flowing. That feeling is so freeing, because in that moment you're going to realize that like, wow, like this is what it feels like to be in a relationship with God. This is what it feels like to really, really love God and to know that God loves you, because you don't care. You have no concern about what other people are thinking about you, because you're just like, I'm just here with God right now. That is such a beautiful and freeing feeling. And I would encourage you, sis, to, well, number one, watch the video that I just talked about, and a lot of the videos where I talk about anxiety, and also number two, to just challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to go to church. Challenge yourself to be mindful and to go and say, you know what, I'm here for God. I'm not here for anybody else. I'm not here for the shenanigans. I'm not here for none of that. I'm here for God. And go with that intention. And just allow yourself to experience God in that setting. Really experience Him. Not just listen to the word, not just, say hi to a few people. Really experience God in that moment. And I promise you, it will change your perspective on church if you allow yourself to have that experience. Um, so that's the last question I'm going to answer, because we are past 8 o'clock now, and I want to be respectful of everybody's time. But I did see a question from Rosalind. How can help my brother? How can I help my brother? I'm not sure of your question, but I'd be happy to answer it if you could elaborate a little bit. But yeah, really quickly, like I said again, after these videos end, make sure you look out for entering the giveaway. I'll post it on YouTube, and I also post it on Facebook, where you can enter the giveaway. I'm gonna pick the winner tomorrow evening. You're gonna pick one winner, and you must be in the US. You must have been taking the challenge with us. You must be a follower on my Facebook page, Soul Beauty Chat, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Soul Beauty Chat. Oh, I'm sorry, I must have missed it. Let me go back and see. That is why my brother doesn't go to church. I tried to talk to him, but he don't want to hear it. Honestly, I think everyone comes to that point in their own time. So I would encourage you to maybe share some resources with him. You can share my video. You can share other videos of other people talking about their experience with church. And also just pray. Just pray for him. Just pray that by your actions, you can inspire him to go. And maybe even just talking to him. Just talking to him about, why he feels that way, or, what's causing the apprehension. Just try talking to him. Talking to him, praying for him, and sharing resources that can help him get past that. So I hope that helps. You're welcome. And yeah, so that is it for tonight. Thank you so much for joining. Like I said again, I really appreciate you guys for being here. Um, and yeah, I'll be seeing you in the near future. But in the meantime, until we have another challenge, which is most likely going to be in March, um, you can follow me on Instagram where I post pretty regularly, I would say. Kind of, maybe, maybe not. And on YouTube where I post on Tuesdays and Sundays. So thank you guys so much for joining. I really appreciate it. And I will see you, lovely ladies and maybe gentlemen, if you're watching. I'll see you very soon. So bye.